Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. And today I want to talk to you about Bach's Brandenburg Concertos. Now, I really haven't listened to the Brandenburg Concertos in quite a while because I kind of got Brandenburged out. You know, they're so famous, they're so well known that after my initial acquaintance with them and my initial collecting phase, when I got 3,000 different recordings of them on regular and period instruments, I just needed a rest. I really needed a rest. I mean, they are a fabulously varied and fascinating assortment of works. Each one is really very different from the others, and they use a wonderful assortment of soloists, and they offer splendid opportunities for instrumental virtuosity for everybody. But you can only listen to them so many times. I really, they're not, from the expressive point of view, infinitely varied. Let's put it that way. And when the period instrument people got a hold of them, they engaged in an informal competition. Anything you can play, I can play faster. I can play anything faster than you. And people, remember that Philip Pickett recording on L'Oiseau Lyre, where he had this demented theory that the concertos represented a triumph procession in favor of the Margrave of Brandenburg. He had this theory and that they should always be played very loudly and fast. It was already doing fast, so it had to be fast and loud. And I remember, as part of my critical, obligations, I had to do an interview with this idiot about this stupid theory. And it really just turned me off to the music because it seemed like they were only being used to advance people's personal musical agendas about the way things could be played, rather than paying any kind of attention to the elegance, the finish, the beautiful melodic character, the personality of the actual music. They just became, they just became objects of some kind that were almost divorced from any kind of personal relationship to me, the listener. And so I gave them a long, long rest. And then I came back to them, a while ago. I've been listening to them for about 45 years. So this was, a decade or two ago. I started to get back to them in a more sensible way, I think. And there are a few sets that I've always really enjoyed, but when I feel like a Brandenburg, when I'm in Brandenburg mode, I choose this one. And this is the 1984 Musici recording on Philips. And this was designed actually as a sort of all-star Brandenburg, and it really is, because they list all of the soloists here, all of the people. Look at them all. Lots and lots of people. I guess this is on Decca now, if it still exists. I don't know. But, we've got Hermann Baumann playing the horn, and Heinz Holliger playing the oboe, and Klaus Thunemann on the bassoon, and just really, really famous people. And, of course, Musici. But the reason I like this, it's not a question of period instruments versus modern instruments. Not really, because there are marvelous period instrument recordings of these works. It's because I find this performance has the values, the musical values that I really look forward to in this music, which is a certain graciousness, a certain elegance, virtuosity tempered by the right kind of vocal quality to the melodic lines. And again, it's not a question of vibrato or not vibrato. It's a question of how they actually make the music sound in terms of what I believe it wants to express. I had in my talk about my Bach problem, I talked about how Bach can sound very mechanical. And he can, because, he tends to adopt one speed or tempo in a movement, and the rhythm is very monotonous. It doesn't have to be that way. These pieces can be played with warmth. They can be played with style. They don't have to go by in a blaze of speed that's so quick that you can't really even take them in. You can't enjoy them. I want to have a good time when I listen to these pieces. I want to savor. I want to savor the interplay of the different instruments. The beauty of the melodies. I mean, all of those things. There's no need to blast through it like you're in a hurry to get to the bathroom or something like that. I've never understood that. And the people who do that, frankly, are mostly the period instrument people, because they can. I mean, there's nothing musical behind any of it. Nothing whatsoever. And so I love this. I just love this. I think it has a beautiful aesthetic sensibility and a musicality and freshness and just, it's a joy. It's a joy to listen to. It brings out the excitement and the pleasure in listening to the music and the variety and color that Bach wrote into it. And there you go. So that's my choice for the Brandenburg Concertos, the Musici 1984 recording. I mean, there are like millions of others. You know it. I know it. But this is the one for me right now at this point in my life. Keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.